One Piece episode 1072 is out, and it was phenomenal. And one thing I think it proved is that Gear 5 is serious. I've been seeing hate all across the community from people who are mad that Gear 5 is too goofy. Which is kind of funny because we're talking about the same show that had Chug Jug Luffy and Water Luffy in Alabasta, which is one of the first arcs in the entire series. And I actually just made a whole video about the Gear 5 hate, so if you bored or something, check it out. It's pretty good. But anyway, we're gonna pull away from the hate today because I want to talk about how I think people are misunderstanding Gear 5. On the surface level, Gear 5 is just a goofy crackhead form where Luffy can clobber his opponents in a comical way no matter how serious the opponent is. And because of this, it's easy to think this ugly ass mayonnaise form is just too silly for One Piece. But in the grand scheme of things, this is Luffy's most serious form, and this goes all the way back to the Void Century. While we don't know exactly what Joy Boy has done or who/they are, we do know that Joy Boy almost guaranteed had the exact same devil fruit as Luffy. And even though Joy Boy was most likely goofy the same way Luffy has been in Gear 5, it's obvious that Joy Boy was a threat and was involved in serious things like attempting to free the fishmen. Why else would the Gorosei fear Joy Boy and go after the Nika fruit? It just wouldn't make sense. We also seen in episode 1072 that Luffy wasn't just playing around in Gear 5 either, but was still keen on achieving his goals. But since the will of the Nika fruit is inherently goofy already, and Luffy has a goofy nature as it is, it can definitely be harder to notice. Especially when we see Luffy jump roping Kaido after being nearly bludgeoned to death 5 times in a row. I'm not gonna lie, I can see how that would turn some people off, but going from being that serious to Luffy using Kaido as a rubber band is hilarious. But the main thing that I think the average viewer is overlooking about Gear 5 isn't the ability alone, but actually the meaning of who Joy Boy is and why it's so important. I'm pretty sure they already said this in the anime, but slight spoiler warning for anime only fans, just in case. So Joy Boy, aka Gear 5, is the personification of freedom, which is why Luffy has been saying, "I feel so free." And even the powers of the Devil Fruit showcase this, with him warping the physics of reality, doing things like grabbing his eyes and putting them on Kaido to see better. TLDR, Gear 5 is basically Martin Luther King, Bugs Bunny, and Mike Tyson fused into one person. And I know I kind of been yapping for a while without saying much, but I feel like this is all important to understand why Gear 5 needed to be the way it is and why it isn't all just jokes. If Luffy's new form was edgy, dark, and super badass looking, it would directly go against the narrative and the end goal of One Piece, which I believe to be freedom. The face of freedom can't be some dark, angry giant man, and I believe Oda shows us this comparison perfectly with Kaido and how he wanted to actually be Joy Boy and failed in the end. And some of you might say, but that has nothing to do with the narrative. Luffy just has plot armor. But you gotta remember, the Nika fruit has a will of its own. And even if Kaido did get the fruit somehow, I highly doubt he would be able to use its abilities. Same with many other characters in the series. Also, the whole plot armor or why is Luffy the chosen one argument is the most retarded thing I ever heard. What, you want our main character to die? The reason he's the chosen one is because he's the main character. Why would we be following the story of some random dude who isn't the chosen one? That makes zero sense. But hey, I've been rambling on long enough. Let me know if you like Gear 5 or hate it in the comments because the community is super split on this take. Also, if you like the video at all, don't forget to subscribe. We need your help growing this channel. Anyway, that's it. Like the vid, sub, appreciate y'all. Doses.